What's up, y'all? Alvin here, and today I'm going to show you how to tie the 4 most important knots in fly fishing. And make sure you watch to the end, because I'm also going to tell you what is the single most important knot for any type of fishing.
I tell the good jokes.
All right, so recently I made a video about how to tie your own leaders. I'll link that up there. And in the video, I talked about how there was lots of videos showing you how to tie the knots to make the leader. Well, I decided, you know what? I should probably just make a video showing the knots to tie the leaders. So here we go. All right, first up is going to be the perfection loop. So the perfection loop is one that you would use, say you have a leader that doesn't have a loop on it, or you want to attach a butt section to a fly line. Most of your fly lines nowadays are going to have a loop at the end. So having a loop in your leader or your butt section is a really easy way to attach the leader to the fly line. To tie the perfection loop is pretty easy. First thing you're going to do is make a loop in your line, and you see I pass that loop in front of the running line. Then I'm going to make a second loop behind the first loop, and then you want to take the tag in and just pull it between the 2 loops. All right, now to finish it off, we're just going to reach in, grab that second loop and pull it through the first loop and tighten it up. So now you've got your perfection loop. So this is a great loop, and you can clip it off really close. Don't have to worry about it pulling loose. And usually when I tie my perfection loops, I'll stick something in there, you know, like a pin, and really give it a good tug. Make sure it's nice and tight. All right, moving right along. Okay, so we got our butt section now, and say we're tying a leader, or you just want to tie 2 pieces of tippet material together, or 2 pieces of mono together. The best way to do that is with the blood knot. So to tie the blood knot, we're going to just kind of cross our 2 pieces of material and hold it like so. Now, the number of wraps to make is just going to depend on how thick the material is. Thicker material, less wraps. Thinner material, more wraps. Usually in thick stuff, I'm going to do 4 or 5 turns, and as it gets thinner, probably no more than 6 or 7 turns. For this stuff, we're just going to do 4 turns. So I'm just going to grab one end and do 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps, and then I'm going to tuck that tag in right back in where I cross those 2 pieces. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps. And now I'm going to stick that tag in through the cross, but I'm going to go out so that it comes out on the other side. Something like that. Now at this point, typically I would wet this before I pull it tight, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not really concerned about the friction here, and this material is pretty thick. So you just want to grab it nice and firm and pull with equal pressure on both ends, like so. And what you're going to end up with is something like that. It's nice. Something satisfying about the look of a well-tied blood knot. And once again, you can clip this off nice and close. Once you get it tight, it's not going to slip. So you got something like that. All right, that's knot number 2. Okay, knot number 3, and this is going to be the knot that I would use to attach my tippet to the end of the leader, so the thinnest part of the leader. So you may have 2 or 3 blood knots in your hand-tied leader before you get to this knot. And this knot is the surgeon's, the double surgeon, some people call it. And it's really easy to tie, much easier to tie than the blood knot, and it's actually stronger. The reason you would tie the blood knot over this one is the blood knot is a lot smoother. You saw how the nice smooth connection where the pieces of monofilament are coming off in pretty much a straight line. This one's going to have a little bit more of a kink when it's done, but it's super easy to tie, super fast, and like I said, stronger than a blood knot. Overlap, make an overhand knot like so. So that's what it looks after the first one. And then you're just gonna do that one more time. So bring that tippet back through that overhand knot and then just pull it tight. Boom. I usually pull the long ends and then I'll come back and actually snug up the short ends as well, just to make sure everything's good. Once you get that thing tied, you can once again clip it off nice and close. So that is your surgeons. Some people call it the double surgeons because I went through it twice. You can also go through it 3 times. I think maybe you get a little bit more strength if you go through 3 times, but typically I just do 2. All right. So we got our leader all tied up. We got our leader attached to our fly line. The only thing left now is to put a fly on the end of the leader. And I use the easiest knot there is, the clinch knot. The clinch knot is actually one of the stronger knots. And like I said, it's super easy, super fast to tie. Basically, stick it through the eye of the hook, pinch it here, give it, once again, the number of wraps is just going to be determined by the thickness of the monofilament. So thicker stuff, less wraps, thinner stuff, more wraps. But usually I would say 4 for the thickest stuff, 7 for the thinnest stuff. I don't think you really need to do more than that. All right, so I'm just going to do 4 wraps on this again. 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps, and then tuck it back through here, pull it tight, boom, and you're done. Okay, so there's several reasons I like the clinch knot. One is strong. It's one of the strongest knots out there. Super quick and easy to tie. And when you tie it, you typically don't waste as much tippet as you do with some of the other knots. Definitely not with the improved clinch. You end up wasting a little bit more tippet. So by using the clinch knot, you can clip it nice and close. By using the clinch knot, I don't have to switch out my tippets nearly as often. All right, so that's all the knots you need to go fishing. Now, like I said at the beginning, I'm gonna tell you what is the single best knot, the most important knot to use in any situation. And that knot is the knot that you know how to tie. I know it's an old joke. I've said it a million times, but the thing is, the knot that you know how to tie is the one that you're most likely to tie correctly, least likely to fail on you when you're actually out fishing. When you're on the water and you're hoping to catch a fish, that is probably not the best time to try to learn a new knot. The best time to try to learn to tie a new knot is at home, somewhere you got good light, maybe some heavier material to use, and you can practice that knot a few times before you actually try to use it out in the field. All right, hopefully that helps somebody out there. I want to thank all of you for watching the video. If it brought some value to your life, give it a thumbs up. You know, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, all that YouTube stuff, it really does matter to me. Once again, thank you for watching the video. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And in the meantime, good luck on the water.